Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network, and we are remote today. We're at the Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island for the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce's Policy Conference, annual policy conference, and we have Bob McMahan with us right now. He is the president of what we used to know as GMI and now Kettering Institute. Good to see you.
Very nice to see you.
Thanks for coming down.
Thank you so much for having me.
I can't tell you how many of my friends, well, I was going to say spent tuition, but in those days you didn't spend much tuition. You went to work for GM.
You went to work directly for GM. Yeah. But the interesting thing is, even though we're now been private since 1982, wow. The model remains the same, except now it's not just GM, it's 550 companies worldwide we have students at. It's amazing.
Oh, is that right? Okay, so is it still very much an engineering school?
We of course have a very strong engineering program, one of the best in the country. But we're a STEM institution now, so we have all the sciences and mathematics and business programs as well.
Oh, wow. How's your football team doing?
We're undefeated since 1919 when we had a football team play for, 2 games.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is interesting you bring up 1919 because this is the 100th year anniversary.
It is. This is our centennial year, 100 years in Flint, Michigan.
Now, how long have you been there?
I've been there 8 years.
So you've seen a little change?
We have, very proudly so. A lot of great things happening in Flint, a lot of great energy around the university and in the community, and the university's trying to help drive a lot of that.
So tell me a little bit about your relationship with the business community, because a university like that feeds the business community usually gets pretty good buy-in.
Well, we do, and if you look around, a lot of the businesses and industries in Southeast Michigan and quite frankly across the globe, you look at the leadership, a lot of those individuals came from our institution. I mean, of course, Mary Barra and a lot of the leadership at GM, but across industries, not just in automotive, but in healthcare, entrepreneurship, finance. We have people all over. Even the president of Gibson Guitar is a Kettering alum. They are everywhere.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, and so because of our co-op model, because our students spend half of their time at the university, half of their time in cooperative placements, we have very deep and close ties with industry across the globe.
Yeah. And the placement, I would imagine, for you is pretty high, isn't it, after graduation?
Yes, I think we oscillate wildly between 99 and 100% every year. I think last year the average student had 4 job offers on graduation. So, I mean, they're very high demand.
Now, listen, do you get any buy-in from business that says, hey, we'll fund this program? Can we be the first in line to look at the students?
Yes, in fact, it starts with the co-op process, because our students, for us, the co-op placement is not just at the end in their junior year or senior year, but they start in their freshman year. So companies come in and actually heavily recruit our students from the very beginning. They're trying to attract them into their organizations.
Well, and the beauty of that, they've got 4 years under their belt when they make the decision whether to hire or not.
Absolutely. And then they have 2.5 years or so of real professional, deep, corporate organizational experience. When they
know the culture,
they know the processes, they hit the ground running. There's no learning curve. They are already. In fact, many of our students have supervisory roles as a co-op student by the time they get to their senior year, so they're already managing employees.
That's unbelievable. That's a great story. But you're right. It is very much the model that they started with.
It is. It goes back 100 years, and we are unique in the U.S. in terms of the model.
So let's talk a little bit about what's in the future. But first, let's talk about the 100-year celebration. What's going on?
Oh, we've got a lot of great things going on. And of course, it's a 100-year celebration goes on for the whole year. Coming up pretty soon, though, we're kind of excited about this. We're holding a festival, a thank you for Flint, for being our home for 100 years. We have concerts. We have a national recording artist, T-Pain, who's coming in. We're giving a free concert to the city of Flint with local artists, multiple stages and food trucks, and a whole day-long celebration with fireworks and events to celebrate the joint history of the university and the community of which we're a part. So we're very happy.
That's pretty cool. Flint deserves every celebration they can have.
They certainly do. They certainly do.
You know what? They're doing a lot in Flint, too, through their art council, are they not? I mean, they're really beautifying downtown.
Absolutely. There's a lot of great things happening. I mean, in fact, where the Chevy in the Hole plant, the old Chevrolet plant along the Flint River that goes back to the Dort carriage factory days, that whole area is now this magnificent greenway and open parkland, and our part of it is a state-of-the-art proving ground where we're developing and engineering the next generation of autonomous vehicles and systems. We got students out there. We have companies. Many of the companies we work with test their autonomous vehicles there and engineer those systems. And so when you look out now, where the automotive industry, where General Motors was created, that incredible plant is now the site of the creation of the next generation of mobility and autonomous vehicle technologies. It's kind of
absolutely, and that's your big future too. I was just at MCD the other day, and that autonomous vehicle is going to open it for you. Bob, thanks so much for being with us. Thanks for the great job you're doing there too.
Thank you so much for having me.
Bob McMahan, the president of Kettering University in Flint, Michigan. Chris Holman here, and you are listening and watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network.